Hello friends! Welcome to Create with Lindy, and today we are going to be learning how to make balloon animals sort of with a twist. So normally when we think of balloon animals, we think of those balloons that once we blow up, they're sort of twisted into animal shapes. So I thought we could make a new sort of balloon animal. So we're going to make these pigs today. So the first step to making these balloon animals is I'm going to tell you all the things that you're going to need to make them. We're going to need a pack of balloons. We're going to need either markers or crayons. You should really only need one if you only have one. And we're going to need paper, scissors, tape, so Scotch tape like that, the clear kind, and also a Sharpie is probably the easiest way to make the eyes, but if you don't have a Sharpie or you don't want to use a Sharpie because they can be a little bit messy and don't come out, they're kind of permanent, they don't come out of clothes, I can show you how to make the eyes with paper as well. So we are going to start. The first step is we're going to blow up a balloon. So blowing up balloons can be kind of difficult. I'll show you how to do it, but if you are having trouble doing the blowing up or the tying, you can always get an adult or an older sibling to help you with this part, and then the rest you should be able to do all on your own. So we're going to take our balloon. I'm going to be doing the big pig first, and then I'll show you how to make a smaller pig. So I'm going to pick the color I want. I'm going to use pink. I want my pig to be pink, but you could choose any color balloon that you like. So I'm going to take my balloon, and one little note about balloons is we want to make sure that we keep these, we don't want to put these in our mouths at all because they can be dangerous if we swallow them or make it hard to breathe. And we also want to make sure if we have younger siblings, we don't leave them around for our sisters or brothers that might get these in our mouths too. Okay. So we can just kind of stretch out the balloon to make it a little bit easier to blow up. And we're going to take it, get a big, lots of air in our lungs. And then you're going to blow. We're going to do that a few times to whatever size you like. I want mine to be pretty big, so I'm going to do several big blows. All right, that's about the size I want. So next, one of the other hard parts is the tying part. So I'll show you how to do that. But again, if you have trouble with this, you can always ask a parent or an older sibling for help with just this part, and then you should have the rest. You can do all by yourself. So we're going to stretch it out as much as we can, and then I'm going to wrap it around one of my fingers like that. So you see it's wrapped around, and then I need to tuck this piece right here underneath that part on my finger. So hopefully you can see. I'll work it around, push it under. So it's sticking under right there, and then I'm just gonna pull it and take my fingers out. And then it's all tied. There we go. Right. So these kind of balloons, since we're using the air, the same air that we breathe from our lungs into the balloon, that means since it's the same air, it won't float up all the time like the ones that you see sometimes at the grocery store that have the strings attached and stay up. Those have a special kind of air called helium in them. So if you want your balloon to be one that stays up in the air all the time and has the string attached, you could always get one from the grocery store. Sometimes they have those kids balloons you could take, or sometimes they have balloons that you can buy just a couple of these and have them blow it up with their helium tank. So if you wanted to use one as like a celebration for a birthday and make it like that, you could always do that. These are going to, they can stay up if you want them to, but they'll usually stay down since they have the same air from our lungs in the outside. So our next step is we're going to start creating the face for the balloon. So I'm going to put my balloon aside and go ahead and take out my piece of paper. And I'm going to tilt it down so you can see what I'm drawing. I am going to, I like to make my balloons, so I'll show you this one again, kind of the same color, but a little bit darker than the balloon was. So since I used a pink balloon to blow up, I'm going to do just a little bit darker pink for the nose. And that's the first part that we're going to work on, is the pig's nose. So I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to draw a circle. And the circle, however big the size circle you want, should be, so if you have a smaller balloon, you probably, if you blew it up to make a small balloon, you probably want to make a pretty small circle. A big one, you can make a bigger circle. So you can kind of see how big your balloon is and about how big you want his nose to be, his or her nose to be. And then we're going to go ahead and make our circle. So I'm going to hold down my pen and I'm going to go ahead and make a circle. Just like that. And my next step is going to be to color in my, oh, where's my, there. I'm going to use markers to color in my pig's nose. So I'm going to use my bright pink marker. Again, you can use any color you want. You can make your pig be whatever color you'd like. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to color all this circle in. And you know what's funny about pigs and their noses is they use their noses a lot like dogs do. They have a really, really good sense of smell. So they use their noses to explore the world, kind of like doggies do. Keep coloring, and it's okay if you get out of the line a little bit, because we're going to go ahead and cut this out later. So you can always, if you get out of the line, it's no big deal. Let's see. I think what some other cool facts about pigs are. Sometimes pigs are called hogs when they live on farms. And the baby pigs are called piglets. Keep coloring it in. Just back and forth motions with your marker or your crayon, whatever you have to color with. You could also use colored paper if you have it. And just, instead of coloring in, then you would just skip the coloring in step if you already had whatever color paper you wanted to use, and you could just go ahead and start cutting out your circle. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and make the piggy's little nostrils while we're at it. So I'm going to make a little bit, going to use something a little bit darker. So if you don't have any brighter pink one and you're using pink also, you could maybe use like a reddish color. I've got a little bit brighter of a color marker, so we're going to make just two tiny little ovals kind of near the middle of the piggy. So I'm going to do the pig's nose. So I'm going to do right about here and here. So I'm going to make a little oval like that. And then I'm going to make another one. Just like that. And now we're going to go ahead and just color in those tiny little circles. I have to think of a name for my pig. What do you guys think you're going to name your pig? I think my pig might be named Betty. All right, so our next step is that we're going to go ahead and use our scissors to cut out our pig's nose. And you can always use kids' safety scissors, should work just fine for this one. So we're going to take our scissors and cut until we find the line that we started to draw. And then we're going to use our hand that's holding the paper to kind of curve the paper whenever we're ready to make that circle shape. So I'm going to make small cuts and then turn the paper with my hand. And that's how I cut out my circles. Small turn, small turn. There we go. Keep making these small turns. I have markers that smell today. Let's see, scented markers. I wonder what scent that was. I think it was fruity strawberry that I'm smelling from my pink pig nose. All right, so I'm turning that, turning. And once I get to the end, just clip off that little bit, and we have our piggy's nose. So I'm going to go ahead and put this to the side so we can go ahead and make the pig's ears next. So I'm going to put it over here with the pig's body balloon and get another piece of paper. And we're going to make the ears this time. So I'll show you on this pig that I did. I made his ears a little bit lighter. You can make your ears the same color if you want as the pig's nose, or hopefully you can see I just did like a light pink colored in crayon there, so that can be totally your choice, whatever you'd like. So you're going to see we're going to kind of make, it's almost like a, it's kind of like a triangle with long sides that are curved, and then on one side I kind of did almost like an S shape right here. So I'll show you how to do that on the paper. Okay. So I'm going to use this brighter marker again to outline it so that you can see better. So I'm going to start by making on the sides of the pig's head this way. They're going to be the kind of slightly curved, and then the other side, the side that's on the outside of the head, that's going to be the sort of S-shaped part. So I'm going to make a curve, like a curved line, like that. And then this is the one that I'm going to make kind of an S shape. This one, so I'm going to start right here so you can see well. I'm going to start, go down a little bit, kind of towards this line, and then I'm going to curve back out and down. So see how it's almost kind of like a S shape on that side. So next I'm going to do another ear. So this one again on this side is going to be sort of the regular curve, and on the outer part of the paper we're going to make that almost S shape. I'll tilt this down so you can see it again. So I'm going to make my regular curve, and then we're going to connect that line, go down a little bit, and then almost make that S shape, back out and down. There we go. We got 2 ears. Now we're going to go ahead and color those in. Like I said, I was going to do mine a little bit lighter pink this time. But you can do the same color or whatever color. You could make your pigs have 2 different ears. It's totally up to you. So I'm going to go ahead and color those in. And we're going to leave, we can color even a little bit extra at the bottom because we don't have those, we don't have a line here. We're going to go even a little bit further down because we're going to use that extra to fold under to make the pig's ears stand up on the balloon. So here we go. We're going to color them in. Just back and forth strokes with our marker. Back and forth and back and forth. And same as with the pig's nose, it's okay if we go out of the lines a little bit because we're going to be cutting them out. So no one will even notice. So back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I'm going to take it down even past the line on the side. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and cut out our ears. So take my scissors and go ahead and cut until we meet the line that we made for our pig's ear, and go ahead and cut along the line. You can use your hand that's holding the paper to kind of curve it to help you whenever you meet a shape that goes a different direction than straight. So now I need to cut that way, so I'm going to use this hand to kind of curve it like that. So curve, and then I can use this one also to kind of turn the way my hand's going and cut. And I'm going to turn the paper, make it easier. Go ahead and cut out. And after we've cut out our ears, is the next step is going to be my favorite part, is the piggy's tail. I'm excited because I don't know if I showed you guys that one at the beginning. He has a cute little tail. Or I guess she, because I named her Betty, didn't I? Okay, now I'm going to cut it out, and remember I said we we're going to leave a little bit of space at the bottom that we're going to fold under. So I'm going to cut, I'm not going to cut right at the edge of my line that I made. I'm going to go about 1 inch down, so just a little bit further, and then cut. So you can see that's where my line ended from the ear I made, but I didn't cut until down here. So I'm going to put that one aside. And next one, go ahead and cut that one out. Curve with your hands when you need. On this side. It helps to make small cuts. And sometimes that's easier to make it stay on the line or stay straighter. So I'm going to keep going down a little bit further, just like the other one, than when my line stopped. And then I'm going to cut these two sides together. And now it's free of its paper. So now I've got my piggy's ears and his nose. And we've got one last part to make, and that is the pig's tail. So I'm going to go ahead and tilt this down again so you can see. So what I did to make the piggy's tail, so you can see on the example I made, so he's got a cute little curly Q tail back here that you can sort of pull in and out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a circle. So I'm going to draw a circle, a smaller one than I made my my nose, but if you want a giant tail, that is totally up to you. So I'm going to make a circle, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it out, and then I'll show you how to cut kind of curly Q into it. So we're going to go ahead and cut our circle. And once my circle is free, we're going to make a cut to get into the circle like this. And then I'm going to turn my scissors to face this way. And I'm going to just make cuts of smaller and smaller circles all the way to the center. So I'm just going to, oh, I forgot to color them in. 1 second. Okay, put them back on the paper and find my markers. That would have been silly if you had a white tail. Okay, go ahead and color it in. All right, now I can show you how to do the curlicue. Okay, you'll probably be able to see better now that it's colored too. So take that part where we left off, and I'm just gonna curve and make circles. Keep cutting. But when I get close to, if I kept cutting right here and met this part, this edge part would fall off, and we want to keep it all together. So instead of doing that, I'm gonna curve it and make a smaller circle inside. Keep cutting, turning, and then when I get close to meeting the other side again, I'm gonna turn it even more and keep making smaller and smaller circles until we get a curlicue just like that. Ta-da! All right, now the next part is that we are going to use our tape to put all of these pieces on our pig. So here's my pig, and on my example, I made my pig so that the top part of his head was, the top part of his face was sort of the top of the balloon, and the tie is the bottom. But this time I'm going to show you how you can do it with this part as the top of the head, because that way I'll show you at the very end how, if you wanted to, you could actually make sort of a string of all of the animals that you make. We could tie them all together and then put them up. We could tape it up like in a doorway or on the wall, so you could have sort of a string of all the animals that you create. So that could be pretty fun. So that's why this time I'm going to do the top of my pig this way. If you don't want to tie yours at the end, you can always do it this way. It's totally your choice. So I'm going to go ahead and first show you how to get some of the tape, because we're going to be making little circles with our tape with some of our pieces. So we're going to take our tape, and again, I'm having a little bit trouble seeing, so I'm hoping that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I've got my piece of tape, and I'm going to go ahead and fold it this way and touch the two ends together, just like that. So I'm going to put that one aside and do a few more. So I'm going to want at least two for my pig's snout. So here we go. Take that piece that I just took off, about a little more than an inch, and I'm going to fold the end under and together. So now I've got two pieces. I'm going to take my pig, and remember I said I'm going to have my top be really the bottom of the balloon so that I can tie it. So it's your choice if you want to do that, or if you want the regular top of the balloon to be the top of the pig's head. So I'm going to take my pig's snout, and I'm going to turn it over and put my pieces of tape on the back. Stick one right there, and then I'm going to stick one on the other side. There we go. And now I'm just going to turn it back the right side and put the back, stick it to my balloon. So I'm going to put it in right about there. So I'm just going to push down. There we go. Now I've got my pig snout on. Next, we're going to put his ears on. So this one we don't need to make our special, we don't need to make the special little circle with the tape. We can just take a piece, pull, and rip it off. Or if you're having trouble doing that, you can always cut the piece. So I'm going to take my pig's ear, and let's see which side is which. this side. Okay, so I like to have the curve part, the S part, be like the outside of the head. So the two regular curves will be closest to each other. And I'm going to take the ear and actually turn it backwards and put it down on his head. And we're going to take the piece of tape and tape the edge down, just like that. And then I'm going to, whoops, I did it backwards. Okay, but that's okay, we can always take it off. That's the good thing about tape. So I'm going to cut off the edges of that tape. So, let's see. I do want to put the colored side down flat on the pig, but it's going to be, the colored side is going to be touching the pig's face, the front of his face. So here we go. Take that piece of straight tape again that I had before, and I'm going to push it flat down, just like that. And now I'm going to fold it back. I'm going to fold back like this. And then he's got a little floppy ear, or sheep. Okay, so this time, I'm going to take this one. Again, we're going to put it colored side, touching the face. And take the piece of tape, and we're going to tape down on the back. And fold it back again. There we go. Now we got two cute little pig floppy ears. And we've got his nose on. So now we're going to go ahead and tape on his tail. So I'm going to take his tail and I'm going to tape this part right here, the edge of the curly Q down. So I'm going to take another piece of tape. Again, we don't need the circled part tape for this, so we're just going to take the tape and just rip off a piece, just a regular old piece of tape, and we're going to put the sticky side down on the colored side of the tail. So I'm going to press that down, and now I'm going to turn my pig backwards and tape this, tape that to the back of our pig. Now he has a cute little curly Q. My tail is my favorite part of the piggy. Alright, now we only have one part left, and that is the pig's eyes. So remember I told you at the beginning that you could use Sharpie is probably the easiest way to make his eyes. And I did Sharpie eyes with this piggy that I made earlier. I'm going to do Sharpie eyes with this one, and then I'm going to show you how you can make other eyes with tape and paper and tape also. And we can put those over top of the eyes so you can see. Because like I said, Sharpie can be a little bit, it's a permanent marker. It doesn't wash out of clothes and stuff. So if you want to make sure that we don't make a mess, you can always just use the paper and tape kind instead. So we're going to take the cap off, and we're going to make an oval shape for the eye. Let's see, hopefully I can do this upside down. Make an oval for his eye. And then I'm going to do another one a little bit further over. So I'm going to make an oval for the piggy's eye. And then I'm going to color him in. You could sometimes, people just color in a little mini circle in there like that. Or you can color in the whole eye. I'm going to do the whole eye this time. Nice. So this is our pig done, but I'm going to show you how to make those other kind of eyes in case. So we're going to get our paper again. And this time, you can make the eyes any color you want. I'm going to do black eyes again. And I am going to, if I can find a black crayon. I'm going to put this down. Hopefully, like I said, I'm having trouble seeing myself in the camera, so hopefully you're able to see what I'm drawing. So I'm going to make a circle and then another circle, just like that, and then color it in. So you could use markers that are washable. Most kids' markers are washable, so you could use that. Or you could use crayon like I'm using. And then you would cut out the eyes. It's kind of tough to cut these tiny little circles out. I've got tape stuck to my scissors. Okay. Cut out his eyes. I don't know why I keep calling him him. I thought I named her Betty, but maybe my pig is a boy. Maybe it's, I don't know. I'm going to keep thinking about it. Here's my eye, and I can go ahead and tape the eye onto the pig. So I would just put it down flat wherever I wanted it. And take a piece of tape, and I would just put it flat on top of that eye. And that way, you wouldn't have to use that marker. And there's my completed pig. So cute. So I'm going to put it aside, and then at the end, I'll show you how to kind of make that string for all the animals if you wanted to. And if you wanted to make a baby pig, a piglet, like I told you, baby pigs are called piglets, then what you would do is only blow up the balloon a little bit. So like this. So just a couple of, you could just do a few big blows into your balloon instead of a lot of big blows. And then you would do all the same steps that we already did for our big pig, but we're going to make a smaller circle for his nose and smaller ears. So I had a lot of fun making my little piglet. So that's how you can make baby versions of the animals. And you can make any kind of balloon animal that you want. You just have to be kind of think about what's on their face and their bodies and how you can make those with the paper to put on the balloon. So I'm going to show you how to make this chicken also. So again, we're going to need all the same things we needed before. I used yellow and red, so if you want to get yellow and red markers or crayons, you can. Or you can make your chicken a totally different color. Chickens come in all different colors, so you could use a different color balloon if you wanted. You could use brown or black or any color you'd like. But I'm going to use white, and then, so I've got my white balloon right here. I'm going to stretch it out, and maybe I'll make a smaller chicken today. So we're going to stretch it out. A few big blows. Sometimes the first blow is the hardest. And once you get some air in it, then it makes it a little bit easier. So I'm going to make mine a little bit smaller this time. So I've got my chicken blown up to the main part of his body. Again, I'm going to make a big stretch of this part. And remember, you can always get help with this part because it is tough to blow the balloons up and to do sometimes it takes me a few tries to get the tie right. So you can always get an adult or an older sibling to help you with this part. And then just like with the piggy, you should be able to do all the other parts all by yourself. So big stretch. You can use 1 or 2 fingers to wrap it around. And then we're going to tuck part that's sticking out, this end part, I'm going to tuck it underneath. So right now I've got the end parts underneath and still wrapped around my finger, so I'm just going to pull my fingers out and I've got my knot. Alright, so we're going to put this guy aside, and we are going to get a new piece of paper. Okay, and I am going to use, let's do the top of the hen, or the top of the chicken. So female chickens are called hens, and male chickens are called roosters. So we're going to do the top with, I'm going to use red, and I actually made that by tracing my hand, but making my fingers a little bit thicker or fatter than they normally are. So I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to take my red crayon, and I'm going to tilt this down and hope that you're able to see my paper. Since again, I'm not seeing on my screen what I'm doing, so I'm hoping that you can see well. So I'm going to put my hand on the paper, and I'm going to skip my thumb. So I'm going to start tracing a little bit below this part of your finger where your finger attaches to your hand. So I'm going to start right there, and I'm going to trace the side. But instead of going straight down the other side of my finger, I'm going to pretend my finger was bigger than it was. You can also just scoot your finger over a little bit, like that, and then trace the other side. And then I'm going to do my next finger, just make it a little bit thicker. And mainly I want this last one to be thicker. And I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to extend those lines down a little bit, because that's where we're going to fold that paper under to make this part stick up on the balloon. So we're not going to be cutting right there, we're going to be cutting lower. So I'm going to just make my line a little bit lower so I remember not to cut there. So pull that line down, pull that line down. And we're going to go ahead and color in this part of our chicken. You can decide if yours is a hen or a rooster. I think it would be fun to have a chicken named Henrietta if it was a girl. I'm going to go ahead and color that in. And we're actually going to color in the back side of this one too, because you can see both sides of this part of the chicken. So I'm going to make my lines, big strokes with my crayon, back and forth, back and forth. And just like with our pig, it's okay if you go out of the lines. Because we're just going to be cutting at our line anyways. So we can always make our line kind of thicker, so that if we go out of the line with our coloring, then we'll still be able to see where the line was supposed to be when we cut. So I'm going to just go over mine with my crayon one more time so you can see those lines really well. So then if I go out of the line like that, it's no big deal because I can see just where I wanted it to be. So I'm going to keep coloring it in. And I'm going to take it down to that edge of the line that we made longer. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn my paper around. And I can still sort of see through my paper, but if you can't, you can always wait until we cut it out and then color the back side. So since I can see through the paper, I'm just going to go ahead and make those lines again. Sort of practice your tracing skills, and then we're going to go ahead and color them in. back and forth lines, or you can do circles, however you like to color it in. You could even make this crazy with patterns. Maybe you could do like different designs on it. You could do a bunch of stars or like a bunch of circles of different colors. You can kind of make your chicken look any way you want. I'm really hoping that some of you guys will send some pictures. Either put them in the comments, or you can always tag us. Tag Get Your Play Online. That way I can see what choices you made for your chicken and your pigs. If you made them the same colors as me, or if you decided to do different colors, or maybe something totally crazy for your chicken or your pig. All right, so now I've got colored in on one side and the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the bottom. I'm just going to take off the extra so it makes it easier for me to cut. And I'm going to go ahead and go along the line. So put my scissor right along the line and snip. I'm going to move my scissor up, snip, snip. And when I get to the end of that part that was my finger, I'm going to turn my scissors and then turn the paper and more snips. And then turn the paper and the scissors the other way. There we go. Turn the scissors and the paper again. And again, turn them both. This one I have to kind of cut while I'm turning. And then I can do the straight line again. Turn. And cut a little bit while I'm turning my scissor. And then turn the paper and the scissor the other way again. Cut along the line, turn, and one last cut all the way along this line until it's free. So we're going to put that aside, and we're going to go ahead and do the chicken's little beak right here. So that's how the chicken eats and drinks and makes some noises. So chickens eat something called, if they live on a farm, they usually eat something called chicken feed, and they mix different kind of grains in there. So that's what usually the chickens are eating. So I am going to make mine yellow. So I'm going to get my yellow marker, and we're just going to make a triangle that that kind of has, it's less pointy, it's kind of more flattened out like that. So I'm going to put this down so hopefully you can see the drawing better. So I'm going to make a tip and pull down for my triangle, and then meet that mark and do the same line on the other side, pull down for my other side of the triangle. And then I'm going to connect those 2 points. So make a line right there. And I'm going to go ahead and color that part in. And we only need to do one side of this, the beak, because we're only going to see one side on our balloon once we finish our chicken balloon. I'm going to make big strokes. And same as all the other times, if you go out of the line, it's okay because we're going to be cutting it out. Okay. going to see if I can find my scissors. Got so many balloon animals going on. Got a lot of friends over here. I'm going to take my scissors and we're going to go ahead and cut out our triangle. This one's pretty straightforward. You just do your cut along the lines. And this side. And this side. So when it's done, it should look something like this. So our next step is that we are going to go ahead and for the chicken, it's going to be easiest to have this tied part be the bottom because this part needs something sort of more flat to hang on. It would be a little bit harder, but you could do it this way if you wanted to. So we're going to go ahead and tape these parts on. So we're going to get our tape back out. And I need just one big long piece of tape for the bottom of this. So I'm going to pull the tape and either cut it with your scissors or rip it off. I've got a piece that's about that long. And since we colored both sides, there's not really a right or a wrong way. I like to have the biggest finger at the front, but you can do it any way you'd like. So we're going to take the balloon and we're going to fold. We can put it down flat first. And we're going to go ahead and tape the edge of the part that we traced with our hand. And we're just going to tape down so the tape touches some of the paper and some of the balloon, like that. And you can see right now it's a little bit sideways, a little floppy. So what we're going to do is we're just going to fold it. And I'm folding, I'm not going right at the tape mark. I'm going a little bit past the tape mark and folding down like that. So now it's totally the opposite way. But if I lift it up, now it stands right up straight. Got a pretty cool hairdo. I think that would be a fun hairdo to have. Okay, so next we're going to use our beak. And our beak is actually pointy like that. So we're going to fold our beak to make that, or our triangle to make it into a beak. So we're going to fold the 2 points together. So we don't want to fold this point to a straight line. We want to make sure that we're taking 2 points together. So I'm going to take my 2 points and fold right in the middle. So it's almost like you have another triangle on each side now. 1 triangle, 2 triangles, but it opens up. So we are going to, sorry, my computer just went blank. Okay, there we go. We are going to tape, kind of put them like that, and I'm going to tape each side. So I'm going to get, same with last time, just a straight piece of tape, and rip it off or cut it, and I'm going to tape it down. Other side, tape it down. Now his beak's on. And there's only 1 step left. Oh, I put this one, I couldn't see because I was turning it around. I put my beak on a little funny. On the other one, I put the beak so that it was kind of in line with this. So let's see if I can move it. That's the good thing about tape, is usually it's easy to take off. So it's okay if we make mistakes. So I'm going to put them in the middle of the balloon with the big finger kind of sideways. I'm going to find the middle and go ahead and tape my beak back on. There we go. And we only have 1 step left, and that's to put the eyes. So you can choose whether you want to do the paper eyes like we did last time with the pig when we made little circles and we cut them out and taped them on, or you can use the Sharpie. Just remember that we want to keep the cap on this because it can stain our clothes and furniture. So we're going to take our Sharpie and I'm going to make an oval. It's kind of a long circle. That's what an oval is. And another one. And this time I'm going to do a little bit different eye. Last time I filled the whole part in. This time I'm just going to do a little circle inside. And then fill that circle in. So part is still white or whatever color your balloon is. And part is the eye. Another circle and color it in. And there we go. Now we have our chicken. Mine is a hen named Henrietta. What kind of chicken did you make? Let me know what you decided to name them. I would love to hear. Okay, so now that we've got all of our animals completed, I'm going to show you how you could make animals. You could almost make what's called like I think it's called a garland, or you know how when people have those happy birthday signs on the walls with all the different letters? This is almost that, something like that. It's like a decoration you can put on your wall or in a door, but we could use all the balloon animals that you made. So we made a pig today, and we made our chicken. And like I said, you can make any kind of animal that you want. You just have to see what is on their body and what's on their face. And then you draw those things on paper and cut them out and see how you can turn it into another animal. I would really love to see if any of you make another type of animal. I would really, really love to see what you make. So make sure to put the picture in our comments or tag us on Facebook for sure. So I'm going to take this, and again, if you wanted to do that, to make it like this kind of decoration, it's better if you made your balloon animals have the tie at the top. So we're going to take this, it's almost you could use any string. I've got this stuff that you can curl for presents. If you use scissors, it kind of makes those curls up. So I'm going to leave a little bit at the end because we want a part to be able to tape to the wall or to the edge, like the two sides of the door frame. And I'm just going to make a circle and tuck the edge into the circle and pull tight. And now he's hanging. And if I had other ones, I'll show you how to do it again, even though my piglet he'll be upside down, but that's okay. You could also put yours upside down. That would be cool. You could make bats. That would be so cool if you did bats, because bats like to hang upside down. Wow, that would be neat. You could make 3 little piggies, and you could do that story. So I'm going to go over further, make another circle, and tuck the end piece under. Because I have a lot of the end piece, I've got to pull it all the way through. And then pull tight. So now I've got 2 balloons on a string. And that can make a really cool decoration for a birthday party. If one of your friends or family members really likes a certain animal, it would be so much fun to make whatever kind of animal they like and then put them up, or you could put them in your room. So I really hope that you've enjoyed making this new twist on balloon animals today with me. I had so much fun making all of these. Like I said, I'd really love to see any types of animals that you made, so make sure that you show us. And I hope that you will stick around at 1 o'clock to get your play online with Mackenzie. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.